Well, I have some news I didn't think I was ever going to have again. And that is that this payphone has come back to life, and it must have happened within the last 24 hours. I know the person who owns this one. I thought certain he had finally thrown in the towel, having taken it to the bitter end, because this thing didn't work for like maybe 9 months. But it's back, although as you'll hear, it has a weird dial tone. But I'm going to test it for its ability to make a coin call. I did connect to a toll-free number earlier. Yeah, here's the dial tone. I guess you could hear that. Let me start over. Oops. Please deposit 25 cents. Thank you. Listening, waiting. There it is. The beauty of Payphone Radio from a payphone. I don't know if you could hear that, but I held the speaker up to the phone to prove that this call actually went through. I was actually out here earlier, and an interesting thing happened. Did you hear that? The coin box sounds like it's completely empty. That was funny. I was out here earlier, and as I was deciding whether or not to do this little video, then a woman walked up to this phone and started using it, proving yet again what we already know around here, that people will still use payphones if they can, or they would still use them if they could. So, what does it all mean? Well, I don't know. But it's good to see this thing back alive, and maybe people will start using it again. I had a similar incident when I was making a video of this one sometime last year when it still worked. I was just saying some things, and then this dude walks up to me. He's like, "Excuse me, you mind if I make a phone call?" But it's interesting because New York basically has 4 tiers of payphone now. The biggest one remains City Bridge. I have no idea what their payphone population is at these days, but it's a fraction of what it used to be. They've been taking them out at a pretty rapid clip. City Bridge is the same company that owns Link NYC, those stupid smart city kiosks that were intended to replace and supplement the quantity of payphones that used to be out here. So City Bridge is one tier of payphones. They have a monopoly on phones that are installed on city property or public property. Then there's PTS, which owns, I don't know, probably a few hundred phones on private property. And that includes the familiar places you'll find them are subway stations and theaters and stadiums. You'll even find a few out at the cemeteries, but they actually have a bigger presence than most people would think, or most people would, at locations that most people wouldn't think to consider, which is places like rehab centers and halfway houses and substance abuse clinics. They have a pretty strong presence in those locations, but those aren't really what you'd call public payphones. They're not even semi-public. So there's that, and then there's the airports, which I don't really know anything about, because you have to be ticketed to get into the areas where they would be. But I think GTEL is the company that has its interests in those. And what was the fourth one? Well, the fourth, actually I haven't seen this in a long time, but the fourth tier of phones in New York would be what I used to call rogue payphones, which are installed illegally on city property or on private property. It could be either way. I haven't seen an active one of those in a long time, but there's the remains of one up on Northern Boulevard at what is now the big COVID-19 testing site. So I don't know how many phones this guy has. I mean, I'm friends with him, but I don't want to call and get up into his business or anything. But I'm happy to see this one's back in business. It is semi-rogue, I guess, because he doesn't list any contact information. You're supposed to have, this placard is supposed to tell you who owns the phone and who to call for repairs and that kind of thing. But it's not there, and I don't think it ever was. And this scratched out location, I think it said Queens Boulevard, which probably means he moved the phone from there. And the stickers, the remains of the "We Need More Payphones" person, who I haven't seen active or fresh incidents of this, but this person would go. I found him in all 5 boroughs, from Coney Island up to the Bronx and Corona and Manhattan and all over the place, except Staten Island. I haven't been out there because I don't think there are any phones left out there. But this person would handwrite every single one of these stickers with the words, "We need more payphones." And I'd say, "Here, here, cheers."